Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share an experience of mine that I had a couple weeks ago going into a store that I usually go into. So it's going to be something that maybe not a lot of people have experienced. Maybe a lot of you have, I don't know. But I wanted to share my experience in hopes that maybe somebody can relate to it, maybe not. I just wanted to share in hopes that maybe I can help somebody. And it's going to be my experience of getting overstimulated in a store mentally and all of that. So a couple weeks ago, actually it was probably back in December-ish, it was around the holidays, I had gone into the store to pick up some last-minute items for, like I said, the holidays, and I've never experienced this in my life. I'm just going around like, I always do in the store, and for some reason, I have a list like I always do to make sure that I stay focused. I don't suffer from ADHD or ADD or anything like that. I just, I like to have a list when I go into a store to make sure that I stay focused and I make sure that I get everything that I need and or want. Unless I'm just window shopping, but in this case I had a list of things that I wanted that day, and it was a crazy day because of the holidays, and I just really wanted to stay focused. And because of my nerve disease, a lot of times I get at home, I've noticed I get distracted a lot, and that's why sometimes in the videos you see me saying a lot. It's just a hard time for me to kind of like focus my brain on one subject, and that's why sometimes I need a list going into a store, is trying to get myself to focus, just because a lot of times, there we go, is trying to just get my brain to kind of focus, just because like going into a store, my brain will kind of like, it's not like ADD, it's just kind of like going into a store. If I need things, I get distracted, and so I'm very forgetful. I have a bad memory. It's that kind of thing. So this day in particular, when I went in, it was a busy day in the store, and there was just like a lot going on. I was about 3/4 of the way done with my day, and there was just like a lot going on. There was a lot to see in the store, and all of a sudden there was a lot of people. There was a lot of kids kind of like getting cranky. They were yelling, they were crying. There was a lot of stuff happening. There was a lot of noise. There was just a lot of like phones going off and people talking, and for some reason my brain just kind of took everything in, and I don't know, my brain just kind of got overwhelmed by all the noise, and it's like the sight and the sound of everything just kind of overwhelmed my brain, and I didn't know how to process it. And it just kind of made me, in the aisle that I was in, just kind of freeze up, and I just kind of froze there, and I was just kind of, I was just standing there with the cart that I had with all of my stuff, just kind of, I didn't know what to do. I was shaking, and it was kind of a scary experience. I know it sounds kind of silly saying it out loud or talking about it, but it was, in that moment, it was kind of scary because I was just very much overstimulated with, the sight and sound of like all of this stuff. Just all of a sudden felt like if you ever went to the ocean and have like waves just keep hitting you over and over, and that's just kind of like what it was for me mentally. It just, all of this stuff all of a sudden just kept hitting me over and over, and it just felt like I was stuck there in that one moment, and it just, I don't know, mentally I was frozen there. Physically I was frozen there in that one spot for probably 30 seconds, even though it felt like a day. And finally I was able to just like break out of it and finally finish and, you know, pay for my stuff and leave. And when I finally got to the car, I was still very much shaking, and it was very much a scary experience. I've never gone through anything like that before, and it was very much a rough time, and it was scary. And you know, I've never known anybody to go through something like that before or experience anything like that before, and it was definitely a scary experience for me. And like I said, I've never gone through anything like that before in my life, and I really hope that I don't go through anything like that again. Just because it was like, you know, just there was so much emotion that was going on too for me, and it was a really rough thing to go through. And you know, I just made me really kind of like sit down and think of all of those people out there. If any of you guys go through it, made me really think of like, you know, it must be a really horrible thing to go through that on a daily basis if you guys do. Made me really like, I don't know if this is like the right way of saying it, but it made me really appreciate those that go through it, like, you know, what they say, walk a mile in my shoes kind of thing. Like, it really made me appreciate what you guys go through. You know, I really saw what you guys go through, and it sucks, you know, like, and I'm not saying that in like a jokey, haha, funny kind of way. Like, it really, honestly, it sucked. And, you know, I personally know what it's like to have anxiety and depression and things like that going out into public, and I know how hard it can be to be out in public having depression and anxiety and stuff and all of that, but having that was just like an added thing to it, and it just, you know, it really wasn't fun. And I'm not, honest to God, not making fun of anybody that goes through that on a daily basis or anything. That's really not fun whatsoever. And I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. If any of you guys have experienced that, please let me know down in the comments or anything. Or if you know anybody that has experienced that, you know, show them this video or whatever. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this. And if you're new here, subscribe, hit that notification bell, check out my channel. I make videos on a bunch of different things, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!